Good afternoon, students and parents. This is Mr. Hornbaker, preparing you for the unit test with our review this week. Today's review includes addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of whole numbers with decimals. Right now, as you can see in front of you, I have on the board addition of whole numbers and decimals. What I would like to do is walk through the process again that the students have already been prepared for. I will do this under the problem. The first thing that we do when it comes to addition and subtraction of decimals is that we write the number that's already horizontal in a vertical look. So here's how that works. I will take it and I will put 5.83 on top, ensuring that I go ahead and bring the decimal down so that I can just place the 4 on the left and the 32 hundredths on the right. This ensures that the decimal's in the right place as well as all of the place value. Go ahead and draw my line underneath. Make sure I know that it's addition by placing the addition sign. From there, I will go ahead and add. 3 and 2 is 5. 8 and 3 is 11. Carry the 1. 4 and 1 is 5, and 5 is 10. So I put the 10 there since I have nowhere to carry it. And then I go ahead and I'll get another marker here so you guys can see the difference. And I will trace down where the decimal's at. So I bring my decimal right to where it should be in line. Therefore making our answer 10 and 15 hundredths. Now, if you hold on with me, we'll go ahead and move to the next problem. The next problem is the subtraction of decimals. Subtraction of decimals will take us through some of the similar steps as with addition. We'll go ahead and first write our problem, converting it from horizontal to vertical. Writing in my first part of my problem. Making sure my decimal is drawn for the second. And then just placing my 4 and my 853 thousandths. Now I can go ahead and draw. I will put in my minus sign. What I failed to mention the last time is when I draw in my columns to ensure that my digits stay in their place value. So I'll go ahead and draw in my columns. Okay, now I can track as I add. I will go 3 plus 2 is 5. And 3 plus 5 is 8. And 8 and 8 is 16. Carry the 1. 1 and 4 is 5. Plus 5 is 10. Put the 0, carry the 1. And 1 and 1 is 2. Now that I've added on my columns, the next step is to trace down with my red marker here where the decimal goes. Track down with my red marker right to in between the 0 and the 6. With my green marker, drawing my decimal, making the answer to the problem 20.
Brooklyn and Morgan Diggins, please sign yourself out. Meet your mother in the front office. Brooklyn and Morgan Diggins. Sign yourself out. Meet your mom in the front office.
Therefore, making the answer to the problem 20 and 685 thousandths. If you'll hang on again, here we go. We'll be moving to the next problem. The next problem is multiplication of whole numbers and decimals. Now, in multiplication of whole numbers and decimals, we like to do this in the lattice method. The lattice method is set up with the box, so you can multiply into the box and then add out. So we're going to set up with, since we had 3 digits in the first problem, with 3 columns, and then 3 digits in third, so we'll go with 3 rows. We will go ahead and place our numbers, 5, 2, and 3. And then we'll go ahead, and what we want to do is place the decimal right where it goes on the line. And we will do the same with the other numbers, 2, 4, and 5. And then we'll go ahead and place the decimal place in between the 2 and the 4. Now that makes it clear, so we can go ahead and transfer the decimal place when we need to. I'm going to go ahead and draw in my lines for lattice multiplication. And now I'm going to go ahead and do my multiplication. 3 times 2 is 6. I place the first digit here and the second digit here. 4 times 3 is 16. It's 12, sorry. And 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 2 is 4. Hold the 0. And 4 times 2 is 8. The 0 there. And 5 times 2 is 10. And then go ahead and go 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 4 is 20. And 5 times 5 is 25.
Anastasia Proctor, please come to the main office. Anastasia Proctor. Thank you.
And now that I have my multiplication in my box, I can go ahead and add across. So I'll go ahead doing so. 5 plus nothing is 5. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 0 is still 3. And 6 plus 1 is 7. Plus 8 is 15. Plus 1 is 16. Plus 5 would be 21. Put the 1, carry the 2. 2 plus 0 is 2. 2 plus 4 is 6. And then 6 plus 2 is 8. Draw on my 8. Go up here. 0 and 0 and 0, 2 is 2. And carry the 1 down. So, now that we have this number, we can go ahead and track our decimal to where we need it. So we'll take it here, in between the 2 and the 4, and track it across with the green marker. And then we will go ahead and track it down from between the 5 and the 2 with our green marker. And where these two intersect, we will take that line where they intersect, and we will go ahead with the red marker and shoot that line down here. We end up in between the 2 and the 8. We go ahead and draw in our green decimal once again. So we end up with 12 and 8,135 1,000ths. Now we continue with our quick review. We'll move down to the last segment, which is division of whole numbers and decimals. So this is something that we have not gone over in class as of this point. So I'd like to walk you guys through step by step. The first step we want to do is converting into our little box. So I'll take the green marker. I will draw our box. I will put the 4 outside, since that's the number we're dividing by. And then the number we're dividing, which is 18.56, will go inside the box. Now the important thing to remember when we divide decimals is that we need to count. We're going to move the decimal out. In order to do that, we have to count how many places we move it out. It always has to go behind the last number on the right. So we'll move it over. I'll follow it. We'll move it 1 space, 2 spaces to get it out. So you've moved it 2 spaces. That's important to remember, so we put it up here. We'll remember that we moved it 2 spaces. So, now that we've moved it and marked it, I'm going to go ahead and erase both our marks and the decimal itself. So now it just reads 1856 divided by 4. That's 1,856 divided by 4. Now, what we want to do is we want to just go ahead and go through the process of acting like this was normal and we were going to divide this number. So, first thing we think, how many times does 4 go into 1? And we know that 4 does not go into 1 at all. So, we just go ahead and move to the next location. So we go ahead and make it, how many times does 4 go into 18? Well, if you think about it, 4 times 4 is 16, which is too low, but then 4 times 5 is 20, which is too high. So you have to go with the lower one, which is 16, which would be 4 times 4. So we say we're going to subtract our 16. Leaves us with 2. Now, we went 4 times 4 equals 16. And we come up with 2 left over. So now we're going to track down our 5. Put that down here. Now we're working in the tens column. How many times does 4 go into 25? The answer being 6, because 6 times 4 is 24. So we have 6, and we have 24, because 6 times 4 is 24. We subtract that out, we get 1. Now, we can't divide 1, so we go ahead and bring down our 6, and we're working in the ones column. So we go ahead and we take 6, or we go ahead and we take, how many times does 4 go into 16? Well, from our previous problem, we know 4 times 4 is 16. So we can go ahead and bring that down here. So we can put a 4 up here, and we can subtract out 16, which leaves us with no remainder. So now our current answer, without the decimal place, is 464. However, if you remember up here, we went ahead and took 2 spaces to the right. Now we have to come back 2 spaces to the left. So the decimal place normally being out here comes in 1, 2 spaces. We take our green marker and we draw the decimal point back in. This is the same location it would have been down here. 1, 2 places in. So our answer for 18 56 divided by 4 now becomes 4 64. This concludes this lesson, and I hope that you bring any questions in, and I can answer them in lessons to come. Thank you for watching, and we will see you later.